So thing is my properties panel. Okay. So thing is my properties panel. This is my properties panel and this is my layer panel. So today we talk about the layer panels and properties panel. So how to do use of the properties and then what's the properties is used and then layers, what's the layers is and then how why we use the layers, right? So this things will be covered as today class. Okay. Then see it. This is important when you draw your drafting. Okay, layers and properties is important to you for defining different types of the lines, colors. Okay, objects by use of colors. Okay, by line type. Anything we can use by use of the properties and then also by layers. Okay, then what we do? First of all, come to the part is here. Suppose here I make a circle. Okay, this is my circle, right? This is my circle, and then inside we can create a rectangle also. Okay, on behalf of this. Okay, this is your rectangle, right? And I put here the geometric center, and then on behalf of geometric center, I make this thing. Okay, and then I create here a line, and this is called my center line, right? This is visualized as like a center line, right? So I create this line. Okay. This is look like as a center line. Okay. How to define as a center line because this is look like as a normal line. Okay, or as kind of the object. Then what two things we do? First of all, you change this line type. Okay, center line type, and then second one is you change this color. So for differentiate this type of thing. Okay, for differentiating this type of thing, you can create these parts, right? So how can we do that? For this purpose we use here, we have the layer properties. Inside the layer properties, we have first of all is my object, is my color. Which color is this? Is my object color. Which color you use? Suppose I want to color it's this object is this and this whatever you want, and then I have color is object is this. Okay. I select here and then I color it. And I select this object and I want to play it. Suppose I want to play this type of thing, okay? And these two objects I want to play here, okay? And then also I want to collect this line on for behalf of other thing, right? I collect these points, yeah, anything, any points you write here. Okay, first I want to show this all lines are look like is same is this. For this purpose, we have the other option is my first of all this is my color option, and then if you want to more color, just click on the more color option. Then we have the multiple colors, index color, show colors, color books. Many of them are come here. Okay, so whatever you want, click on here, and then you got the multiple type of colors, right? Then come to the next part is here. Next one is your line width. Okay, suppose you want to tag the object, and what you do just right here and then increase the width of the this line. Okay, and also for this line. Okay, what's the object line I want to take here is the width. Okay, and for showing the width is also one thing do here we use a show and hide line width. Click on this part, then your line width will be shown and then hide. Okay, and then here we got the line width, right? And then by the on the by of you use the line width, and after that you can use here line type. Which line type you use? For this purpose, we have by default lines is by layer, by block, and this is both three lines are simple. Okay, and then click on the other, and then here what you do here, this is your line type manager, and then here to your manage your line type. And in this part we have a load button where you want to load your line type. Just click on the line type right here, and then here we have the multiple types of line. If you know about the line numbers, line code, then you can write here the line code and this line will appear. We have the dash line. If you need is here the dash line, just click on this, okay, and then your dash line will be added here. Then come to the next part is here. If you want to dot line, double dash, anything you can watch here. Suppose you want to border line here, then click on the border parts. And then if you want to center line here, then what you do? Just click on the center line part. Okay, this is your center line. If you needed other lines, suppose hidden lines, okay, so you can also do this. Okay. And this is my hidden line, right? You have the gas line and many of the types of line you have or water supply lines. Okay. If you plans making the plan types layout, then you can create here. Okay, I use this line. Okay. Hidden lines is only used for the showing your hidden object. And then here we have to write here the center line and select it and then convert this into a center line. This is my center line, right? And then if you show that here your this is central line, right? And this is simple just central line. If you need is here, and then I want to make something. Suppose I make a rectangle here, and then create here one rectangle for this type. And this is my hidden portion. To select it and then convert this in the hidden line. Okay, here we have the hidden line, right? And this is my hidden line. And if you want to show us in the different color, you can also make this by use a different color, right? And this is simply hidden line to you. Okay. And then one thing you can also do, what's to do? Okay. One thing, if you create the much bigger object, suppose I create a circular like this, and then I make here one thing is my line commands to make a center line right here, and this is my center line, and then here I also want to center line. Okay, and then center line is here. It's like this fourth line, and then here what you do? The side here is the center, and then inside it we got this type of thing. Okay, I want to increase and decrease the line spacing between them. Then what we do? For this purpose we use a PR for properties. Come to the properties here, and then you can increase or decrease your line scaling. Suppose you increase your line scaling, then what will happen? Your line scaling will be increases, and if you decrease the line scaling by use of size, your line scaling will decreases right here. Okay, whatever you want you do here by use of the line scaling. Okay, and this will come here to your properties panel, right? And then which type of line you use? Central line, and you can also change by this way, okay? Because here we load this line, okay? First of all, load the line type, line which line you want, and then after this you can use zero, okay? This way you can use the line, okay? And then suppose here I want to this pass, okay? Not here, and then I want to show that this line in PR, right? And then here I want to say, the small dash scaling because I want to show is better way. So 0.5 I use it here to better way showing. Okay. This is just a matter for use of the scaling, right? Okay. The scaling. And then this pass we can make here. Then come to the next one is yours. Next part is this is simple way you can create here. And inside it, we can also have other option is transparency option. And transparency is option is mostly used for suppose I want to select this line and I want to do this here. I select this line and then this is my line. Okay. I select this line and then I want to apply here is transparency. Then what you do, just click on the transparency and increase the transparency value. Okay. 0 to 90 value is transparency value. Okay. So right here is the transparency and then also transparency will be not visible when you cannot open this. You can just on this. Okay. Here we have this option. Here we have the transparency option. Just off here on it. Then after that your transparency will be shown and then transparency will be considered. Okay. If you non-off it, then your transparency will be not able to be applied. That's why we can on this part also. Okay. Line width, transparency, each and everything you can select here. Okay. The script. This is simple match properties. If you want to do other things, suppose here I want to apply the same type of styling inside this part and then inside this part. Okay. And suppose here I want to make something else right here. I use a circle and this is my circle, right? And then after this, I use a rectangle and I want to make the rectangle on behalf of this point. And then I move what? Right? And then here I make a center line. And then what we do? Just use align to first. And here we can use here to align to. And here we also apply here the align to. And this is my center line, right? Then I want to apply same type of properties inside this part. Then how can we do this? So for this part, we have the option of the match properties. Okay. When we click on the match properties and do here, select here, and then apply here, then same properties will be applied. And then again, here to do this to by use of, and then we have the shortcut of this part also, enter. If you need this thing, select the this properties where you want and then where you want to space it, just select one now. Okay. This is used for the match properties. Match properties is used for the match your properties and then apply on the other object also for the same type of properties. Okay. If no one need to is follow the shape of the on behalf of directly will be applied by use of this thing. Okay. Suppose I want to apply the center line of each and every line, then we can use this. Okay. And then create a center line here. Well, this is your center line simple. Okay. By this way, you can create and they make this thing by use of this way. You use the match properties and the shortcut key is M. Okay. Match properties shortcut key is M, and then you can also write here the MS object. Okay. Because your important is the right to match anything for this purpose. Okay. If you need here, and then I want to make this thing and this type of thing here, then we click here, and this is your this will be appear. Okay. This is your match property, simple match properties. This clear to you? Okay. Come to the next part is here. Yeah, this is my match property, simple match property site. The next one, next part is your layers. What's the layers is and then how why we use the layers? 1 minute. Okay. What's the layer is and then what's the layer is part? This is a layer site and then why we use the layers? Oh. Layers here, we have the layer option is after here, and then also we have the shortcut of layer is ally. Ally and this is my layer option, right? And when we click on the layer, then what we guys say here we got this part, and if you don't need it, you can also click in this layer properties and you got this part. Why we need to lower layers and why we use the layers? We have the one layers is by default layer is my zero layer, okay, and then layer is the combination of your properties panel, okay. If you want to different types of properties in different things for different object, different parts, different things, right here, then you can use a layer panel, right? Then you can use four layers. This is layers, okay? So what you do here? For this purpose, we can use here to the layers, and then for defining each and every object for the center line, we can define the center line objects. For the objects, we can define the object properties. And for the edge, anything we can have to write here, we can define for this part, right? Okay. Then come to this part and create your layers, and then why we use the layers. First of all, I create the layers of the layer properties. Click on the layer properties right here, and then what we do? Here we have the option of many things in new layers, new layer VP version, and then this is a delete layer, alt plus delete, and this is current layer, alt plus save. Okay. New layers, when we click on the layers, this is layers option, and then I first layer I create for the object, then this is my object, and inside it we have the option is your color option here. You can apply the object color right here. If you need is here to the color option, then select your color option. This is your color option, and also you can write here is your line type. I write here is a continuous line type. And then second one is use a line width. We can increase your line width here. Okay, suppose I increase this line width to 0.04 mm, and this is this is my line width. And if you need here is to transmit it, then you can also apply the transmit to 0 to 90 value. Okay. Next one is yours. When we click here, then we can write here for the center line. I make the center line there. Okay. Center line is a line here, layers, and then here we select the colors of the center line. Then click here. This is my center line layers. Okay. And click on OK. And then what you do? Select your console on continuous, and then this is my center. Okay. And then this is my central line and click on central line. Okay. And what you do, just right here is your default. Okay. And then I don't need here. And then here we apply the central line. And then I also need here to be a 25 value for the transmit, 25% of the transmit I apply here. And then come to the next part. I want to keep here for hidden line. And for hidden line, I use hidden line as symbol is this. Okay. Whatever you want here to the apply the hidden line, I use this color of the hidden line. And then you can select here is your hidden line. Okay. Just click on it. Default and apply the 25% of this part. Then next one is your hatching. I want to apply here is the hatching. Okay. And then for the hatching, I use different color is this. Okay. which one color you want to do use here. Okay, suppose I use this color. Okay, remember that this color will be not used anywhere in parts. First, you want to the continuous line here and click here, and then you can also apply here to this part. And the next one is you used for the dimensions. I use the dimensions here, and then for the dimension we use dimension is in this form. Okay, and then click on OK, and then here continuous to, okay, I check the continuous line, and then I want to also I don't want to here to the parts of this part. And next one is I want to create for the text layer. Okay, hey, this is my text layer, and for the text layer I make the color is text. Okay, and then here you can continuous, and then what you want here to do this part also. Okay, this is thing by use of this way. Okay, and create the things by use of this thing, this way. Then what you do right here for this parts we use to work as here. This is my layers. I create some layers. We can create your layer first when we start your project. Okay. If you start your project, first of all, create the layers of each and every part. So the center line, greater line, hatching dimensions, whatever you want. Okay. And this will be helpful. How can it be helpful for this part? Just click on there. Okay. This is my layers will be created. Then a layers will be created, and this will be shown here. Okay. All the layers will be shown here. Okay. Come to this part. I make something like, suppose I make here to do object. Uh, in this case, we make a rectangle, and then inside the rectangle, I make a circle. Okay. And for this object, you can create the object. Then what you do, just click on this path and convert this on the form of the object. Okay. This is your current layer, right? And then see, enter for the circle, and this is my current layer. Select the current line and set as a current line. Okay. Go to the layer properties, set as a current line, right? Set as current layer. This is my current layer. Okay. Set as current layer. Click on the current layer, and this all every time object layer will be your current layer. Okay. And then C enter for the circle, and then make a circle right here. Okay, this is my circle. Okay, and then here next one I want to create the center line. Then click on the layer of the center line, and after that you can create your center line. And then what will be goes here, each and every cases will be gets. Okay, don't define as any pass. You don't need to be defined as a pass here. Okay, this properties will be defined already by use of the center and anything. Okay? Don't define it as a other pass, right? It's your center part. And if you need here to the make something else, suppose you for the hidden line thing, and then it is select your hidden line and then make this type of thing. Okay. And then I want to need here to this thing. This will be created by use of hidden line. Okay. And then come to the next part. And if you apply the hatching for this solid face, then what you do? Select the hatching layer first. Okay. And then click on the hatch enter for the hatching. First, you want to hatching here. And in this case, we apply the hatching. Okay, each and every hatching will be applied here. And where each and every pass will be Gaussian hatching. Okay, one by one we can create the hatching right here. But since hatching is not probably I want to apply it all the in this part, not the other line. But here we what will be happen because in the line section it will be here, then hatching will be not will be perfectly applied. But I write to apply the hatching. But how can we apply the hatching for this part? We have all others option also. Okay, I also remember this where I copy this part and see you enter. And I also make this thing by the use of whatever. But first of all, I apply the hatching first. Okay. Get this hatching first, second, third, and then this. Okay. This is a hatching option, right? And then so all this part is your hatching, right? I apply this hatching. And then if you want to write here as a text, suppose I want to text, write any text right here, then click on the text first and then write your deity. This is your text, right? And this is the properties panel. Install. Okay. I don't need to apply here. And then if you need to, if you have to issues for this part, then what you do? One minute check. layer properties, and I don't want to this color, just change this to other types of color. Suppose here to I want to change here to this type of color, which will be visible perfectly, and this will be changed. Okay, and then we will want to change this. See this here we have my layers color will be changed. Okay, this is not need to go to the select for drawing set and select object and then changes its color by this. Okay, this is will be helpful for you. Okay, if you don't have to show this, your color is not visible like very well, then you can go to the directly to the layers and then change this colors and other properties also. Okay. Next one, we want to apply a dimensions here, then you can select here dimensions, and I want to write here the dimension. Then what should for this purpose we use here is DIM enter. Okay, and select this part, and this is your dimension. Okay, and then this will be color will be executed when selected here to the by use of the dimension, right? Okay, and then for this dimension you can apply here. Okay? And this color will be applied. Okay, and you can also use the dimension to increase the size or other things. Okay, this part will be told you as later. The next one is we come in. Okay. Next one we have to come here to this part is so this thing. Then what you do right here to next part. Okay. Next part is when we come to this part. We if you want to do this one thing and set this offset dimension. Here we have the dimension. I want to apply apply the hatching inside this layer, inside this object. Then what should we do? Okay. Then I want to apply the hedging is right. Don't want to one by one. I want to apply the hedging. Then what we do? Okay. That's edge enter. What will happen my side? Yeah, we have to apply the hedging one by one, but I don't need here to apply the hedging one by one. I want to apply the hedging as that. Then one thing you can do here to do things to go to the layer panel, here we have the option of the sparse. Okay, which sparse here? We have the on off button right here. Then you can also on and off your layers. Okay, I don't want to see the center line, this off the center line. I don't want to hidden lines option, then I off this hidden line. Okay, and then this option will be appears here. And this one because here we have to don't find here to the any lines. That's why if you use the edge and then after that you click here, your hatching will be directly applied, right? And then click this path again, and then come to this path, and then I want to own this line. Okay, and this will be the same as position of this path, right? This is your layers option. Okay, here we hide your layers. Okay, if you don't want to use it, just you to hide it and then don't show it right here. Okay? This layer will be used. Okay, after this, what you do? So in this case, we have all other option also. We have the lock layer. Okay, if you want to lock your object to don't want to move it here. Here we have to select here and then move here and then copy here and then anything I do by use of this part and then move anything right here. But I don't need here. Then what you do? For the center, I don't want to move it and then I don't want to move on the circle. Anything I don't want to move here. Then what you do here? We have the lock option also. So just click on the center line. Okay, center line option, and then here we have the hidden line option, and click on it, and then what you do, select this object again and then CO enter copy, and then what will happen, my object will be copied but not the center line and other part because I love this thing. Okay, and that's why this will be not copied. Okay, then we can log your layers, which layers we use here to the object, and the one object will be logged in this particular position. Okay, this position log to the object. Next one is to use here to do what's the use. For this part, we can use here to the next part is your if you hide this here. Suppose you I hide the center line here, and then I don't want to do this, select this part, and then I copy it. Okay, right? I copy it, and then what will happen? If you again on this layer, then what will happen? Your this part will be not copied. Okay? This will be not copied here, and then this will be not shown here. Okay, this only of those parts will be shown here. Those will be copied. Okay, that's why this will be used. Okay, if you don't want to need here to show this thing type of thing, you can also remove it by use of this way. Okay, this is simple your hatching. And another way you can add on it, you can use it here. do the other things. One of this part is here to here we have the other option is your this option. This is your fees option. Okay, fees option is mainly used for the fees your points. Okay, if you click on this part, this will be main same is like here to the fees is the point, and then if you don't want to be this will be hide. Okay, fees option is just fees the option, and then don't need to be moved and anything like it. But this will be used as like same as hider. Okay? And this will be shown. But if you come to the this part, you can also delete this layer by using the delete here. If you don't need to the layer, suppose I want to create a one layer and then I don't need to this layer, then also just click on the delete part and I delete this. If here I use a object, suppose I want to not want to dimension here, just I delete the dimension there, then what will be happen? The following layers cannot be deleted. If you use this layer, then this layer will be not deleted. Okay, if you don't use this layer and then you want to delete it, you have to make an extra layer. Don't want to in your drawing, then you can also delete this part. Okay, yeah. Right. Then next one is here to do also. I remember here to do this. If you want to paint this part, and then we have the one option is here. Here we have to talk about the layers. Okay. Here we have the freeze layers, on off layers, and whatever you have. Here we have the paint option also option. Okay. We have the paint option also. Then what we do here for this purpose, if you paint it for the plotting, you can use a control P. Control P use for the plotting, and then click on the plots command. If you see here for the plots, okay, I use a landscape mode right here. Okay. And then I use window option over. So select the option for the wistful you want to close. And then it is a center point, right? And first you want here. And then here select as a Microsoft Word to PDF. So we're showing you a preview. And click on your here, we have the preview right here. Then this will be preview will be shown. Okay. And then this layer, this part will be shown here. Okay, this is your layers will be shown here, and this is your example will be shown here. Okay, in your painting option. But I don't want to show a too much thing. Suppose I don't want to show the this center line and middle line anything object right here, and then I want to skip this part by using the float option. Then what we do? Just click on this part and then come to this part, and then we have the layer click on the layer of properties, goes to the layer properties right here, and then click on what you don't want to print it. Just click on this part and then close it. Okay. Here we have to show to this center line. This center line will be shown here to do this object. But I don't want to on the printing. Just what you do. Control P I use here again. Okay, for the printing. And then select my painting is printer I selected here, print the PDF. And if I select here, and then I want to this object, just use this part, and then I want to this object, click it, and then I want to import landscape, lotus center, and then view. Then what you can see, you don't find out here is a center line. Because why? Because I hide this layer for the painting on the painting option. Okay, I hide this layer on from the painting option. That's why this layers will be this part of the object will be shown the painting option. Okay, you make this way and then you can hide so what you want to hide here, then what you want to show here. Anything will be control all over thing by use of the layer. Directly you can control things by use of the layers. Okay, you can make your center line, make your object, make your line type, anything you can use it, and then they change your colors. Okay, suppose if you want to have two dimensions, suppose you select a dimension and I click on the DIM and D enter for the dimension channels and goes to the modify option. Okay, and then modify it because dimension is shown here to right here. Okay, then what you do for the decimals and whatever you want to do there and apply it. So this is fast to increases AO symbol and then come to the text bars here. Then I want to show the text, but I don't want to show the text. This already used here. Okay. And then if you want to use here to use anything, you can use it. Then you can use it and then click on OK. and then set a style and then compare over it, okay, and then close it, okay, and close. And then what will happen? Because I selected my dimension there, that's why we have to change anything in the dimension style. So then this will be occur in this portion also. Okay, this will be changes. Okay, my text and then size of the dimension increases, and then all the colors. You can also change your colors, dimension type, anything you can change by yourself by use of this. This is not necessary to use this in directly. Okay, anything you can do here. Okay, this is where you can make your project is better, where make your drafting is better. This is clear. Okay, this clear to you all of you. How to make layers and how to use properties for your project section. Yes, and no, that's clear all of you. Mhm. This clear all of you. Then make something valuable to me, and then draw this type thing, and then also make this layer. Okay, I also send you to one example. Okay. I think all have to do at or not. I don't know, or I don't remember it. Okay, here. Then what you do? First of all, so do this example by use of layers and properties also, because in this case we have the use of the hatching dimension, everything you use in this part. And then if you make the table, you can also style, define the play properties for the table also. Okay, each and every cases, each and every pass you can define here for the different types of layer, and then make this your projects is better way. And then don't need to identify every time to do this. Okay, if you want to change colors and anything by use yourself, then you can directly go to the layers and change these properties. Okay, and then change these properties all of the object. Okay, where we use in the inside this sheet. Okay, this drawing, and this will be used only in this part of the project. Just clear all of you? Any doubts? Any question regarding this part? Hello.